Pat, anything else?
No, let's have fun.
Hey everybody, welcome to a new episode of Repeater. My name is Evan.
And I'm Pat.
And today we are joined by the incredible Rachel Pegram.
Me!
That's you!
Yeah!
Hello!
You're here.
Hi.
Yes, I am.
Wow.
We did it.
Yeah.
We thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, for anyone who's new to the show or just checking it out, this is a song where we talk. This is a song.
Whoa.
This is a podcast. I think that's obvious by probably where you're listening to it. This is a podcast where we talk to people about songs that mean a lot to them. But this season, we're specifically talking to people about songs that got them through the last year. So, we're recording this towards the beginning of the year. So I guess we're mostly talking about 2018 with a little bit of wiggle room, probably. That's what I would say. But to kind of get us started before we jump back in time, we're just going to talk about some music we've been listening to recently.
Nice.
Pat, what's been on your headphones?
I've been listening to a band out of Delaware called Grace Vonderkoon. And they have a song called Worry. That's really fun. Just kind of a fun indie rock jam that breaks down to a nice fuzzy guitar solo at the end that I adore.
Nice.
I do think Grace Vonderkoon is the name of the band.
Okay.
Because, I don't know. I discovered this 2 days ago on an audio tree session. So I'm still ingesting and learning and understanding.
Right.
But they're great. They're so good.
Yeah, it's also confusing anytime somebody names a band a name or a person names themselves a band.
Yeah.
Oh, as if they were going to be a group. Like The Weeknd.
Like The Weeknd, yes.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
I think either way it's confusing.
Yes.
A group of people should not be a singular should not be a potential group of people.
And
Yes.
in this scenario, I'm pretty sure the lead is named Grace.
Okay.
But with
That's
a
even
diff.
worse.
Yeah, but also they're really good. So I kind of don't care.
Yeah, I'm not critiquing the music one iota. I'm just,
I'm just confused.
Right.
But they're good. Not confused about that.
I think that's
Hey.
okay.
Something you can agree on.
There we go.
I've been listening to the newest couple songs, I guess, released by Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh.
Big fan, eagerly anticipating the release. But the song I'll recommend that people listen to is No Drug Like Me, which is cool. It's a good, confident song. You get it. It's you can do whatever you want out there, but there's no drug like me. It's nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Empowering.
Yeah. And it's a good, the other single off of that, I guess, the other single she released this week is just more straightforward pop. And this one's got a little more funk, synthy funk in it, which is cool.
Yeah.
It's nice.
I like it a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, Pat, also a fan. Thank God. we agree on something.
Wow.
What about you, Rachel?
I've really been I guess it's not a re-listen because it's still kind of new. But I've been listening to No Name's newest album.
Yeah.
Room 25.
All right.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I love the whole thing.
Cool.
It's a good you can listen to the whole album kind of album.
What is
like
the No
those.
Names vibe? I'm not familiar.
She's very chill kind of hip hop.
Cool.
And a little R&B ish.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice.
That sounds real good.
Yeah.
I would definitely check that
She's
out.
dope.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sweet. A good, sweet music recs all around.
Yeah.
We can all agree on that. Great. So now we're caught up to the present. We're going to talk about 2018 a bit, and to get us kind of started, we're going to talk about a couple of things that happened in 2018. Pat, what's the one thing that happened in 2018?
One thing that happened in 2018 was that the Obamas got their portraits put up in the National Gallery. And they they're gorgeous.
They're so good.
Yeah, they're definitely a better, or a way more modern portrait than I think anything that's been in there before, right?
Yeah. So beautiful.
Because the artist Kehinde Wiley
Yes.
does this incredible, his use of patterns and colors are so interesting to me. Barack's in front of this ivy kind of backdrop, and Michelle's is more minimal, but the colors are so interesting. Her dress is wonderful.
Yeah.
And they're both so striking. Very exciting.
It's like I feel like there's been a thing in the last year where I've been like wanting to go to DC, and I feel like I'm like, oh yeah, that's probably one of the reasons, is because I've seen that written about so much in those photos and everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, I want to go see those.
Yeah.
It'd be very cool.
Incredible in person, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's what I have to assume.
Yeah.
Right.
They're also like really big paintings, and big paintings are always impressive.
Yeah, I love that feeling of walking into any museum or gallery and seeing a work of art you have like seen in reproduction or print, and not realizing that it's huge in person. And you're like, oh shit. Like either that painting's gigantic or that statue's way bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I was at the MoMA once and walked up to Starry Night, the Van Gogh painting. Van Gogh.
Wow.
Come on, Pat.
Snobby.
Have you been to Europe, dude?
I've watched the BBC before.
Whoa.
Okay.
And you're right.
But it's
You're right. They do say it like that.
They do. But I just remember like looking at it and going, this painting is beautiful. It's not a hot take, but like seeing it in person is incredible. And somebody next to me walked up and just so exasperated went, ugh, it's so small. What? And just stormed off.
Like,
yeah, it's a small painting, but it's still a good one.
Oh my God.
Rude.
That's wild.
I can't imagine storming off and being mad that it's too small.
It's one of the best things I've ever seen at a museum, though.
That's so funny. I had an experience in a museum that I've probably talked about it on the show before, but it's such a good. It reminds me of like why art's cool a little bit, and it's almost like the opposite of this person, which is I was in the Netherlands somewhere at this small museum, I guess, all paintings, portraiture, all this stuff, and all the stuff was really similar because it's very like still life of a certain era, I guess like Flemish painters and things like that. And I was across the room, I was like gonna leave the room, and I saw this one portrait, and I was just like, whoa, that portrait out of all these portraits is like beautiful. I mean, it's really striking. I don't know what it is about it. And I'm like walking across the room towards it to take a closer look, and I finally read the nameplate, and it's the girl with the pearl. Is it an earring or is it a necklace? Yeah. And I was just like, oh wow, that's a famous painting. And I was like, and I get why it's famous before I knew that it was famous.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. that guy nailed it.
He did it.
I didn't even have to know. Like no reputation needed. I was just like, good painting, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, we should all go check those out. Those paintings, National Gallery.
Not far.
No,
DC,
hours.
down the road.
Easy. Train right away.
Let's do it tonight.
Oh yeah, we fucking go nuts and fly to DC. Another thing that sucked a lot more in 2018 was it's known, at least on Wikipedia, as the Camp Fire, but this was the one particular large Northern Californian wildfire. Went through a number of different towns in Butte County, Northern California. According to Wikipedia, it was one of the deadliest wildfires of the year, and one of the deadliest in California, at least, or United States, since 1918.
Good Lord.
So it's wild.
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of gets lost amongst the number of wildfires there were in California last year, and seemingly every year, and probably forever in the future, because there's no going back now. But it's like, yeah, it's almost shocking to be like, oh wow, that was bigger than probably we even realized because of all these other smaller fires.
Yeah, the scale of devastation and what was happening to like the towns that were burned down and the support that they weren't getting.
Yeah.
It was heartbreaking. And every once in a while you'd see videos coming out like on Twitter or Instagram and whatever of people trying to leave, just driving down these roads that just walls of flames on both sides. And I just don't understand how the government and the people that need to be responding to this can see that and go, yeah, but we don't need to do that. And, wildlife, or what are they called? The wilderness forest firefighters are out there. And when it's this big and you can get surrounded like that, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like understaffed and don't have the resources they need and everything to really like appropriately deal with stuff.
They're jumping out of planes to jump into the middle of a fire.
God.
That's ridiculous.
Terrifying.
I'm glad there's people that are willing to do that.
Yeah, because some people are just like doing podcasts and stuff. And they're not really doing anything important.
Yeah.
There was truly in the last year I was in California and I was like hanging out with some friends and we were like smoking weed out in this parking lot after we had done a hike, and then like we like heard like, you know, like oh someone's coming, like not the police but, you know, like the forest rangers, and we're like, oh, put it out, whatever. She comes by to us and is like, you know who puts out those fires? Like
Whoa.
to herself, and she was like, have you been away? Have you been out in the space station? Or do you work at night? Like truly it was like, but like in a movie way, making us all feel like, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. This was really inappropriate for us to do. I'm really sorry, ma'am. And like, she like gave only one of us a fine, but just was like, don't do this.
Yeah.
And it was like, yes, I'm wrong. You're right. I don't know what we were thinking. You're right. There's been a lot of problems and you are putting out those fires.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Yep.
It's good to grow and to learn and to acknowledge those things though.
Yes.
And good that it didn't come from like, you know, a small fire starting or something like
Right.
Yeah.
stupid or truly bad.
Yes. It was just, you know,
hanging out.
it was a casual toss. It was in mostly rocks.
Right.
I would say.
That's good. Mostly rocks.
Yeah.
If you're gonna throw out anything that's on fire, throw it in mostly rocks.
Mostly rocks.
Throw it in mostly rocks.
So real quick about stupid things with smoking. Growing up, my neighbors, their son was smoking cigarettes because he was a cool teenager.
Sounds like it.
Almost set the house on fire. Almost burned the house on fire down. I'm doing great. Because he was smoking. Parents came home, so he decided to stash the butt underneath the vinyl siding, which then caught on a hornet's nest that was also on the roof because he had tried to kill the hornet's nest with lighter fluid, which then caught and the hornet's nest burned. And so the firefighters had to go in and like tear out the walls to make sure the fire wasn't spreading through the interior walls.
Right.
When they did that, found out this kid had been stockpiling lighter fluid.
Sounds like a real, like, almost like series of unfortunate events or something like that. But mostly it boils down to one dumb fucking teenager.
Oh, yeah. One dumb fucking teenager. And then the fire department, one of the firefighters comes out carrying like a small marijuana plant and went to the mother like, what's this? And she was like, oh, he's just watching that for his friend. It's nothing. We're like, oh, you're all dumb.
Whoa.
Or is she an accomplice?
Yeah, I was expecting you to
that's what I was like.
Oh, that's mine.
She's like, she's holding it for someone.
Oh, yeah,
Me.
maybe I'm the dummy in this story.
It's hard to know. We can go look up the case file on it.
We'll
I'm sure they'll know.
Have the
Hit the
researchers.
database. Yeah.
Get the research team on it.
CSI will come in. But so that's a little setting the stage of what 2018 was, right? Some good, some bad, you know. We all learned lessons. What was the song that got you through the last year?
So this is difficult to choose because when I was really starting to think about it, I was like, there were a lot of albums that were very helpful. And like, but then I was really thinking about the stuff that like I listened to while I was writing. And so I like started re-listening to a lot of gospel music because it's very inspiring. And I chose the song My Name is Victory. It's like, I wouldn't say it's like the best song in the world, but I think it's like very encouraging. And I like really thought that it helped me get through some of the like most troubling like mental times during last year.
Cool. Well, let's give a quick little listen to that song.
My name is Victory Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
I think y'all got it all over the
You get it.
Everybody just raise it up and say, oh.
Good song title right there.
My name is Victory.
It's
I
good
love
to get
the
it back
bass
to
line.
back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just in case you forgot.
Yeah. I think there's 100 people on stage right now. That's like my
For
impression.
sure. It's like happening in like probably a mega church or something.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's just a taste of it. The rest of the song is a lot of that, and it's really, really joyful.
It is.
But yeah, let's Pat and I will give our first impressions of that song because we, I'm guessing, probably both just heard it for the first time today.
Hey.
That is true. And when I looked it up, Spotify was like, "Did you mean my name is Jonas?" And I did
No.
not. Did not mean
not
that.
mean that.
Not Jonas.
So first impressions, My Name is Victory is such a cool song title.
Yeah.
I
really
love
is.
that as a song title. And yeah, out of the gate, love this song. It's so fun. It's high energy. Love the bass line.
Yeah.
And just having the choir behind everything was like, oh man, I just got so excited listening to this song.
Yeah, my first thought, we didn't listen to the very beginning of the song, but it kind of, builds in a little bit. So my first thought was, I don't know what I expected when I like clicked on it or whatever, but I was just a little bit like listening to music. I was like, oh, is this song going to be about God? And then very quickly I was like, this song's
Yes.
definitely about God.
Yes.
But then like as the song goes and after I listened to it, I was just like, man, that is just such a positive, like uplifting song. And I immediately thought I should listen to more music that actually does that for me.
Yeah.
Because I think like I love all sorts of music, but particularly I love stuff that like relates to the harsh feelings I'm having.
Yeah.
Rather than listening to something that is so obviously empowering.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
Like empowering, but I just feel like in a way that's like human-y. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's like empowering songs. Like I always think of like songs for like women that are empowering.
Yeah.
And it's like about like owning it.
Yeah.
Like owning it for yourself.
A Rihanna album.
Yeah. Or like Lizzo and like,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
very like
yeah.
strutty music, which
Yeah.
is like empowering in such a different way that's like, you are good. You
Yeah.
have like potential and like you got this. Like you can overcome all of the
Right.
things in your life, which is like so nice, I feel. I mean, obviously in gospel music, a lot of it is tied to God, which, I have a lot of mixed things on, but like it does like have such a nice like sense of spirituality, but also just you like having success and being stronger because you are stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something that feels, more universal about this song than just to like kind of repeat what you were saying. But it's like, rather than something that's like, oh, this is for women or this is for one specific population, it does feel more broad in a way that's really nice, and using words like the words that he's using, I guess, to empower you are really big. Like victory is a really like big word.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm trying to think of what some of the other things he says kind of in succession to that, but it's a lot of things that are just, really all encompassing.
Yeah.
And really kind of point the needle forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so, I really like it. I was like listening to it today and just like, some of the words are just like I am a conqueror,
Yes,
and
yes.
like I have authority, and it's like such like you have ownership of your life and like what you want to be doing, and like you can do it, which is like simple, but I don't think there's like music that's cool that you listen to that would like give that same kind of messaging.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this was the words themselves are very like one a day inspirational calendars.
Yeah.
Like they're not trying to be funny or cute or
like
tough.
overtly clever
Yeah,
either.
there's
It's
nothing
just like
that-
straightforward.
Yeah, very straightforward, but then paired with like a beautiful chorus and melody and like a nice melody and a big band behind it, it really does like make it sink in more. I don't know, at least for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm somebody who very easily dismisses, empower like little like notes that you can read
Exactly.
as like little signs you put around your house, like that shit. Like I'm okay, whatever. But if it's just like I said, 100 people or so on stage singing at you, you're like, oh hell yes, this is
and
real.
they're all believing it too, and it's just like you're like, okay, sure.
Yeah. I think there's definitely something from that.
I think the closest I've ever come to seeing music like this live was Polyphonic Spree. And I left that show like feeling a little indoctrinated, but
Yeah.
They're kind of clanny.
yeah, a little
sceney,
bit.
at least.
But
know.
no, but the simplicity of this song is not simplicity in like a bad way. Like it's clear and to the point.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think it occupies like a really nice space, because I was listening to Lizzo today too, and Lizzo's great, but this is it's like you're saying, like the signs people put up around their house. It's like sometimes it's nice to just have a very clear reminder of you got this.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one point in the song that I love too. This is maybe more clarity in music, but they're singing My Name is Victory over and over again, and then he just, in between, one of the things he shouts is, now give it some harmony, and then the next time they sing My Name is Victory, it just has harmonies, and it's like it's just like beautiful, and it's like that much better. You're already into it, and then he just like tells you what it's gonna do, and then he does it again, and like does it bigger and better.
Great.
And you're like, that's exactly what I wanted. How did you know?
I also love that it's a live song.
Yeah.
Because you can hear the scale of it.
There's like a lot of gospel songs that are like the live version on the album. I think it's like people like I like that you can like hear everyone there and like enjoying themselves, and like we're at the church or revival or whatever it was that they were recording it at.
It feels like gospel music is super well suited for that live thing, because it's built around it's built around church, right? Which is all built around like a place to commune. Like that's kind of the whole idea. It's inherent to the music, right? It just works so well.
Yeah.
You were saying that you would listen to this while writing a lot.
Yes. When I was like working or writing on like new whatever pilot or something, I would like try to play a lot of this music while I was writing it, just because like, and when I was like writing a packet or something, I just remember like always playing it so that I could be like, you got this, you can do this, you're doing this thing and you're writing. And it's just like very empowering. And like church for me is mixed, but like ultimately it reminds me of my childhood, which I do look back fondly on. And like having that connection with church and like people at church was like really beautiful and nice. And I don't go to church now, so it's like nice to connect with that world that means so much to me and is so much a part of me. It's so nice to like use, especially when I'm writing and like coming up with new things. It's like very grounding as well to like bring me back to like my center.
Yeah. So where was home?
I grew up in Texas, in Denton, north of Dallas.
Great.
If you ever been.
No.
It's a mixed upbringing. It was sometimes tough, but I did go to church a lot. I went to church every Sunday, just like regularly, and then like church on Wednesday nights. And I also did a Bible study group on Mondays. And then I also went to private school for most of my time. So I also was going, in the first school I went to, we had chapel every morning. So I went to chapel every morning for an hour. So it's almost going to church 7 days a week.
Right.
Yeah.
That is a whole lot of church. Did you do choir or anything like musical within that?
I did the church choir. The school didn't have a choir, but I did do handbells a little bit during my time. Because the school I went to was like an Episcopalian school.
Interesting.
And then, in church I sang in the choir.
Cool. What was like that part of the experience like choir? Did that feel like a fun thing, or was that more regimented still?
No, the choir was really fun. I went to church that was like the music. Like I went to church, the denomination is called the Church of God in Christ, which I don't really know what it means.
where it fits into
I mean, it's just a holiness church. It's like a Pentecostal, Protestant church.
Yeah, my mom went to a church for a number of years that I was like, I would be so strained to tell you where it fit into like the denominations. It was somehow I was like, it's a Christian family church. That's all I know.
Christian family.
I don't really know what else.
Okay.
I don't even know if that's a real term.
Could be non-denominational.
I think it might be non-denominational, but I don't know.
Okay.
It's hard to say.
They singing a lot of Hillsong there?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I don't know.
All right.
I only went to like 2 masses there.
Okay, they're doing mass. They're not singing any Hillsong.
No. I don't know.
Mass feels like Catholic.
It is.
Yeah.
And so, but my use of mass might be wrong because I grew up in a very Catholic town. So I call Sunday church service mass.
Oh,
I don't know another word for it.
Church, right?
Church. Yeah. That's the building for me, I guess. That's what
Yeah.
Or
like
I know
a church
it's like,
service.
Yes, a church service. So it's, I would say it's not only possible, it's probable that it was not a mass, or that they would not call it a mass.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like pretty chill. They were like very nice and
Yeah.
friendly. That's kind of its vibe. Whereas like Catholic masses I've been to are very serious
Those are
and somber.
strict. Yeah, lots
Yeah.
of specific times to
Yes.
kneel and specific time to stand and then sit and
I
speed and
grew
kneel.
up terrified.
Yeah.
Did you grow up Catholic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And church school for me was, third grade finding out that the world can end tomorrow because the 4 horsemen are going to show up. And
Yes.
it's like, oh,
Revelation, what
What?
a terrifying chapter
Yeah.
of the Bible.
But pretty metal, like
Pretty metal.
I
Look
read
forward
it
to your teens.
A lot.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. I was like into it. I don't know why. I really read it a lot.
Grew up Irish Catholic, terrified of Book of Revelation.
Yeah.
And my priest he didn't like statues. So all of the statues of Mary and stuff were in the basement of the church.
Whoa.
Weird.
Yeah. I looked into the basement one day from outside. All of these statues of Mary and Jesus were like being dimly lit by like rays of sunshine, covered in dust. Fucking terrifying.
Oh, that's bad.
Terrifying.
That's bad. You
Yeah.
know that's where they keep the bodies.
I know.
If there's any bodies, they're in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, it was very doom and gloom and
Yeah.
No thanks.
no thank you.
Yeah, your church experience sounds brighter and perhaps at least more
Yes.
celebratory.
Yes, I think somewhat. It's a mix because like there are definitely aspects that were regressive.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they weren't necessarily the most. They definitely, they were definitely not down with gay people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like kind of
yeah.
like classic church, but also very southern things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is so if you're listening to gospel music now or a song like this, right? I mean, what is that? And maybe it's very complicated, kind of like you've just already mentioned, but does that become something like the mix of God and the message of the song, maybe on a more personal note? Do those things kind of like weave in together for you, or do you kind of like parse them out maybe to be like, okay, well, this song means something personal to me. It's also about God over
Yeah.
here, or are the kind of religious and personal aspects of it still pretty intertwined for you?
I think it depends on the songs because I think some are easier for me to be like, right now, when I'm hearing God, I'm taking that as just like the idea of someone having like, there's like an outside perspective of like everything will be okay, kind of like just like a measure of, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's like a less of a like God is going to like I'm praising God. It's just like I'm so thankful for my life and my existence,
Yeah.
etc. But then I think some songs it's harder because it's just like I'm praising God. I'm like, well, I don't know exactly who I'm giving this thanks to. I'm thankful to perhaps just the universe for putting
Yeah.
me where I am, or just like life and circumstances and the general idea of higher being, as opposed to a specific entity.
Yeah.
But I usually just feel like I was playing the song for my boyfriend earlier today, and he was like, the cool thing about some of this music is without the lyrics even in it, the songs just sound uplifting.
Yes.
And it's just like,
Yeah.
it just sounds like you would, without any words, you would know that this song is supposed to encourage you. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. So like, even without the words, the meaning in it, it just still feels like something that's giving you strength.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like
Yeah.
it comes across so clearly, I think. And that's probably even why I was saying like the very beginning of the song, when I heard it, I was like, I wonder if this is going to be about God, because it just sounded uplifting. Like
Yeah.
the music itself, before anyone really started singing, just sounded good.
Yeah.
Like in that way. Yeah.
When you listen to this kind of music while you're writing, do you find that like the lyrics kind of fade out into the background?
A little bit, yeah. I think it's mostly just like the feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does it help you like build momentum, or how does it like manifest in your writing?
I feel like yeah, it helps me keep going to like believe in my work. Like I think sometimes it's like a struggle to be like, is this what I should be writing? No, maybe I should do this other thing. Maybe I should write something different. It just like helps me to be like, no, we're just going to do this. And this is what I'm writing and this is what I'm creating. And I feel good in that. And I think like the reason I had like the progression of the music I was listening to, like I feel like in the last few years has made so much like jumps and shifts. And like my last relationship I was in, like he recommended a lot of music to me and kind of like gave me a lot of like, I had a lot of my own taste, but like he gave me a lot of artists and things that he liked. He had like lots of particulars, and not a bad way, but I like got introduced to a lot of music through him. And then we broke up, and I like was like, oh my God, all of this music like you gave to me, and it's like all yours, but now it's mine, and it's hard for me to find ownership of these songs, of these sounds without thinking of you. I don't think it can be reclaimed because there's just always aspects that will sound that way. So I think I was also looking to like find new things that I liked on my own, and also things that could like still give me power, things that felt like my music, that felt like I own these things and didn't belong to anyone else. And they definitely didn't belong to him. And so I like started to find this new music, but like music I used to listen to, and reintroducing it into my life because I was starting and trying to stand more on my own as an individual outside of this person that had defined me.
Yeah. That to me speaks to so many things about like, I guess the human condition of just like striving, moving forward, right? Because everything we're given is from someone else.
Yeah.
Or it's like from the world around us at the very least.
Yeah.
And a big part of what we're trying to do in life, especially artists, is you try to figure out what's yours.
Yeah.
What is unique to you, or how do all these different things fit together? Like, how do they become me? And music can be a very personal thing in that way. Writing is obviously a very personal thing in that way. It makes me think, I'm like, oh, you need encouragement writing. You need extra encouragement editing your writing.
Yeah.
Like going back and because reading something for the 5th time that you worked on so hard, the idea that you still think it's good and that you think like that original idea is like, you're like, you have to have that thing of, I thought this was good. I thought this was funny originally, even though now I am bored with it. I'm utterly bored with it.
But it's still good.
Yeah. And you need to like, it requires a certain amount of confidence and swagger to be able to just put out draft after draft of something and then finally submit it, because by the time you're submitting it, it's like, you just have to know. You just have to be confident that it's good. Yeah. Even if you're not sitting down and reading it and being as impressed as you were the first time.
Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah. And that sense of identity is like always this nebulous thing that we're kind of chasing. And I would guess, religion for a lot of people is similar to that. It's like, I'm supposedly part of this universal collective. Mm-hmm. Like this thing is somehow controlling or observing like our entire world. But then I have to find my place and my, whether it's like your purpose or, like where you fit into that grand design. It can be daunting. It can feel like you're no one, but you're somebody.
It's true.
And we can agree on that.
We absolutely can. Would you mind sharing with us a setback of the past year?
A setback. I mean, I think in the last year, it was definitely a generally slower year. I think 2017 had been such an odd mix of being both like one of the worst years and then truly one of the best years of my life within months of each other. And I think it was interesting to go through 2018 realizing that it's not just gonna all happen. It doesn't all happen at once. Like life doesn't just it's my friend compared it to surfing. It's like, I think she was actually quoting Neil Patrick Harris, but I think it's like acting is like surfing or something. It's like you catch a wave and you think it's gonna go on forever and then it doesn't, and then you're like just kind of waiting on your board for the next one, and you have to be comfortable waiting until the next wave comes or whatever, something like that. Neil Patrick Harris said it. I don't know. We'll look it up.
NPH, thank you.
But I feel like 2018 was like a lesson in that. And I think I'm talking about it in a like sadder way. It wasn't a bad year.
Sure.
But I do remember being like, I think more disappointed and like depressed and like really down on like my own ability because of certain setbacks of like not getting things that I thought I was gonna get. Like I was like, I felt really good. I thought I was going to maybe get on SNL, but then I like really didn't, and like I didn't like do as well as I know that I can. And like I think it was hard to recognize that like this small blip doesn't like define my entire existence. And like learning that like these moments of me not getting opportunities don't mean that I'm not a capable person that deserves to continue and like exist and do the things I want to do. And I think it was, I don't know, that's a little general. It's not like a specific moment, but I feel like that's just like kind of the feeling that a lot of 2018 had.
Is there maybe like a specific step forward that you can think of, or does that kind of just get mixed into the general feeling?
I think I made more steps forward. I mean, I know at the very beginning of the year, I had to make a concrete, like, few steps. Like, I really, really, really stopped talking to my ex. Like, we, like, ended conversation. I haven't talked to him since then.
That's positive.
Yeah. And, like, but I did run into him at the end of last year. Beginning of this year.
Yeah.
I saw him on the street.
Damn.
It's wild. Honestly.
Did you call the cops?
Honestly, I said, 911, come arrest this ex, okay? Get him off of the streets. Wow. I hope you're listening. Actually, I hope not. I doubt he is. Maybe. I really don't know. He still
Our
follows
reach isn't
me.
that far.
Hey, well, he might.
You never know.
He
And if
likes
you are-
music.
Unsubscribe?
No, don't tell him to unsubscribe. You have to keep your followers.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
Leave
Tell
us.
him to subscribe.
Subscribe. Don't comment.
Comment. Say thumbs up.
Yeah, okay.
Just
only,
the thumbs up emoji.
Yeah.
Just the thumbs up.
Say
Okay.
very nice.
That's all you're allowed to
You know, Borat voice.
do. Yeah.
Yes, please.
What was I saying? We were talking about.
We're talking about steps
step
forward.
forward,
You're saying
step
mostly
forward.
steps forward. That was one
Yeah.
of them, was no longer talking to him.
And then I think like I did take a step forward and just like I did make and like open myself up to like new relationships.
Great.
And that was really nice. And now I'm in one that I really enjoy.
Congratulations.
That is not toxic. Great.
That's always
We
good.
love that.
Mhm.
But I don't want it to be like, and then I found love and that solved it.
Everything
But,
is a step in the journey. Like everything's.
I think it was helpful and nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like good to meet someone that can like be encouraging and be like a support system for me and like isn't a bad person.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's what we're all looking for.
Yes. Just like very kind and overwhelmingly loving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your year with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where can people see you or keep up to date with what's going on with you?
You know, you can see me 8th Avenue, 7th Avenue,
Whoa.
6th Avenue,
Whoa.
5th Avenue, 9th Avenue,
She's out
11th
there.
Avenue.
Wow.
I am in the streets,
Everything
you know?
from the middle of Manhattan and west.
And west. I don't fuck with the east side. That's actually untrue. I fuck with the east side more
Yeah,
than the
you gotta.
west.
But yeah.
I did forget. I was like, well, I was supposed to be doing something serious, and
What was
I
the
got
question?
caught. I got
I
caught
loved
in a
it.
bit.
It was so good.
You can catch me at UCB.
Great.
I do SCAT on Sundays. You can catch me at my sketch group, Lo-Fi. We're
Great.
doing that every month. That Shit Ray, me and Rachel Jarofsky.
Nice.
We do
Great.
that about once a month.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What about, do you have any like internet ways people can keep up to date with you?
You can keep up with me online. www.rachel. Wait, Fuck. What's my email address? No, my
There's not
website.
another dot in there, I
Okay,
promise
it's not. Okay, hold on. It's www.rachelpegram, RachelPegram.com.
Beautiful.
That you can hop on there. You can also go if you go to http://www.twitter.com. You can find me at Rachel Pegram.
Whoa.
Same
Wow.
spelling, RachelPegram.
We got there.
Also on Instagram, got one of those. Pretty
Killer.
tight.
Yeah.
And on there, I am at I am
Ooh.
RachelPegram. That's I am Rachel
Wow.
Pegram.
Great.
I like that little twist in the username.
Yeah. That was
Simply because
Cool.
my sister-in-law stole my Instagram handle.
Whoa.
Well, my former sister-in-law
Oh, okay. Even
took my Instagram handle.
Layers.
She has 3 Instagrams.
That's
She
too
famous?
many.
No! She has 3 Instagrams, doesn't have pictures on any of them. And then one of them is Rachel Pegram.
that's horrible.
Also, somebody tried to make a fake Rachel Pegram
Oh,
account
of you?
of me.
I've had
Wow.
that happen. Yeah.
I think it's
weird.
like Rachel Pegra 1.
Rude.
Yeah. And then the bio was the same bio as mine.
Oh, it's so
Huh.
weird.
Yeah.
No thanks.
There's another Pat Cartelli on Instagram, I think, and he just takes pictures of shoes.
No,
That's
So-
kind of cool.
Yeah.
shoe guy.
Good job, other me.
Speaking of Pat, where people can follow you, right?
Yeah.
At
Pat Cartelli.
huge.
Not the shoe one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Twitter,
other one.
Instagram.
Twitter, Instagram,
Nice.
Wow.
You got
Yelp.
across the platform. You got a Yelp?
I think so.
Our
Oh,
boys,
I
got
might-
our boys got a Yelp.
Dang.
Seamless. Venmo. Cash
You
App.
got to put your Venmo out there.
Yeah.
I should. I think it's also Pat Cartelli. So
There you go.
It's the same?
it might be.
Damn,
Whoa.
Or Patrick.
You got a corner on the market.
I
Yeah.
just.
I'm trying to do a corner, but I realize I
Well, it's a
fucked it up.
square.
mean,
so it had several
triangles have-
corners. Yeah.
There we go.
Gotta put a corner on the
You gotta
market.
put a corner on the market. You can keep up to date with me, E Blarden. That's Instagram and Twitter. But also the show itself, guys. Repeater.show is the URL. www. We don't even need that, probably, right?
No, you can just type in repeater.show.
Well, you
Pretty
can
cool.
also.
HTTP.
HTTP.
You got a
Colon,
HTTP colon backslash
Repeater.show.
www.
It all works.
Dot show
.show.
slash. You could add that if you wanted to.
could do it
You
if
could add other things that just won't work.
They just won't work. You can also follow us at Repeater Show on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, so check it out. We do like music recommendations on there sometimes. Post about new episodes, post about new live shows, the next of which will be happening April 29th, which will be very fun. We're going to be counting down the top songs of 1997.
I can't wait.
Ooh, 97.
Yeah, it's gonna be very fun. An underrated year in music. People often think, "Hey, maybe that's a good year," and I'm pretty much out to prove that 97's the best year in
The
music.
best year.
I think it's up there. I think it's a top
Whoa.
5 year in music.
I can't. What's one song from 97?
Almost all of the Spice Girls' first album
Whoa.
charted in 97. It was the first time Backstreet Boys charted. It was also Matchbox 20, Third Eye Blind, The Wallflowers,
Daft Punk.
Wow.
Daft Punk.
Wow.
Was that song Blue 1997?
I think that might have been later. But there was a lot. There was like...
So I don't know if
I
it was the
botched
top
it.
year, you know?
It might not
If
have
it
been
didn't
top
have
year.
blue, then
it was the debut of 98 Degrees.
hey,
Also,
wow.
it was also the Princess Diana song, Candle in the Wind.
Is 98 Degrees, that's the one where the guy did end up getting a massive 98 degree tattoo?
I think so. I want to say multiple
Like,
of them have that.
Big, just like, oh no,
Yeah.
that wasn't, you
Yeah.
shouldn't have done that.
Oh my God. I think it was also maybe the year that artist Joe existed.
Oh.
J-O-E. He was just like a dude.
Yeah.
I think that might have been his year too.
Joe. Regular Joe.
I don't remember his name. Yeah.
Outside of Fat Joe.
Yeah,
Different
exactly.
Joe.
Different Joe.
You need
A Joe for all seasons.
an all season Joe. Fat Joe only for winter?
Yeah,
makes
Christmas.
sense.
You know, sure.
Yeah, whenever
Yeah.
you need a little extra.
Fall?
Sure.
Ooh.
Fall
Depending on
Fat
where you
Joe.
are.
Good fall look.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no matter how you interact with us or anything, guys, rate and review. Do the positive things.
Tell us here about your favorite Joe.
Tell us about your
please.
favorite Joe.
You gotta.
That'd be huge. Box of Joe, one of my favorites.
Cuppa.
Cup of
Oh,
Joe,
yeah,
also
Cup of
very
Joe.
good. And if you leave a review with a 5-star rating, we will read it on the show and give you a little shout out.
Nice.
So do that. That would be super duper fun. And subscribe, please. Finally, just tell a friend about the show. If your friends like music or they like comedy, this is the show for them. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
Can't wait to hear from them.
Yeah.
I bet if your friend likes music, they like comedy. And I bet if they like comedy, they like music.
Yeah. Wow. And I bet you got one friend named Joe. Go find him.
Tell
Tell him about
Joe.
this
Go
episode
tell
specifically.
Joe. Wow.
He'll love this episode.
Joe's the name of my boyfriend. It feels like we're talking about that Joe.
We're not. But,
Oh, okay. That's cool.
but we
I
could
was.
be.
Yeah. Well, what if he's listening? He might feel bad.
Right. Okay.
Shout out to Joe.
Shout out
Thank you
to
for
Joe.
listening.
Joe,
Thanks
thank you for listening.
You're incredible. You're the number one Joe. You're even above Joe.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
5 stars. Are we going too far?
I don't know.
5 stars for Joe.
Yeah.
I think we're doing great.
I think that's appropriate. Well, Joe, thank you for listening.
Yes.
To everyone else out there listening, we thank you very much. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
Everyone, until next time.
Hit repeat.
Oh, yeah.
Repeater is hosted by Evan Ford Barden and Patrick Cartelli. This episode was recorded at Magnet Training Center in New York City, where they offer classes in improv, musical improv, sketch writing, storytelling, and more. Find out more at magnettheater.com. Visit us online at repeater.show for live dates, hot music tips, and show archives. Theme music by the Sun Lions. Everything else by Love Nest Productions. Welcome to Repeater.
Bye, Joe.
See you later, Joe.
Bye, Joe. Good night.
Good night, Joe.
Good night.
Have sweet dreams.